Hello friends, welcome to Coding Shiksha. So today in this tutorial we will be building a to-do application with the help of React hooks. So this is the end product. You can see that I can add entries here and I can just complete any kind of to-do here by hitting this button. So it will add a line here on the to-do. So and the last functionality, I can also delete the to-do also. So you can see that I can add the to-do here, update the state of the to-do by having a line, and I can also have the delete operation. So these are the 4 operations. So let's start building it. So I am using an online tool called as codesandbox.io. So this is a tool for making React applications. So let me just delete all the code here and start from scratch. So the first thing that we need to do is to make the app component. So we will write here function app. So in that, first of all, we will be declaring the state variable for the to do. So we will write here const to do in the square brackets to do, and the second parameter will be set to do, which is the function to update the state. So this will be useState hook of the React. So basically this takes the default value for the to do variable. So I will provide, let's suppose, a string value. This can also take arrays, objects, all things. So let me just print it in the component. So in the div I can just print this value, that is to do. So you will see that hello world is printing out. So now instead I want to store the array of to do's here. So I will be writing square brackets. Inside we can just define the objects. So the first property will be text. So I can just provide any text here. And the second property will be on completed. So which will be false to start with, to mark the state of the to do. So if it is equal to true, then we will be making a line on it. So this is the first object here. Let me provide a comma and write the second one. Text, let me write here I learn Laravel, and similarly it will have on completed to false. So now it is an array. So now in order to print this, we need to use the map function. So inside this return here we will write div. I will close the div. So inside this, in the square curly brackets, we will write todos dot map. So inside this takes 2 arguments. First is the actual to do which needs to be printed, and the second one is index. This is arrow function. So inside this we can just write here to do dot text. So the text property we need to display. So it is saying that, sorry, this is to do's, so just make it to do's here. So you can see that I learn PHP and I learn Laravel. So we are successfully displaying this. So now I need to make a new component for displaying the to do. So we can just make a new component. Let's suppose at the top here, just make a new component for displaying the to do. So this will be function to do. So this expects the actual to do to be displayed. So this will be in the curly brackets. So I will name it to do. So inside this we will be writing a simple line which will be printing out the to do for us. So we will be having a simple div which will be having a class name is equal to do. So we will be styling this in the CSS. So we need to write here return statement. So return. So in the class, in this div we will be displaying the to do. So we will just write in the curly brackets to do dot text. So now after defining this component, we just need to use it. So just go after in the app components and use this component. So just write here to do, and after this you need to pass some parameters. So the first parameter will be key. So key will be the actual key that you need to pass whenever you are displaying any kind of array in React. So this will be the index value. Sorry, we have deleted the array map function. So inside this we need to write it todos.map. So this takes the actual to do and index variable. So this is a arrow function. Let me make it. So inside this we need to write the to do tag, to do component. So the first argument it takes is the key value. So key will be the actual index variable, and the second argument is the actual index. So this will also be index, and the third argument will be the actual to do that we are passing. So this will be to do. Now we just need to close it. So you can see that it is displaying it ilearn PHP and ilearn Laravel here. You can see that. So after this we need to have the form where we can just submit any kind of value and add the to-dos. So for that we will be making another to-do form component. So this will be right after this. So form to add the to-do. So let me just make another function which is to-do form. So this takes the actual to-do object or add to-do function. So this function we will pass whenever we initialize the to-do form. So right after this we can just declare our to-do form component. So right after this we can just write here to-do form, and we can just pass this add to-do function. So add to do is equal to, in the curly brackets we can just write add to do. That's it. We have initialized this. So it is saying that add to do is not defined, so we just need to define this. You can see that we need to define this. So the first thing that we need to do here is that we need to return a form here. So in the return we will be having a form. So let me just bind a on submit click event handler. So whenever this is clicked we will be making a custom function which is handle submit. So inside this form we will be having entries here. So one entry which is input box. So input type will be text, and we will provide a class name to it which is input, and the value attribute we will provide here. So this will be equal to the actual value which is there, and also a on change event handler. So in this we will define a single line function here. So this takes the event object. So this is arrow function. You can see that in this we will be declaring a set value function. This takes e.target.value. So now we just need to define this set value. So after this we need to just define right at the top here, that is const value set value, and this will use this use state hook. So the default value is nothing here. So this value function is the input value that we are getting from the user, the name of the to do. So we are initializing it to nothing here in the use state. So after defining this we need to close the input tag. Sorry, not here. After this we need to close this. So now we will be making this handle submit function in order to handle the form. So function handle submit. So inside this it takes the event object which get passed whenever you submit the form, and first of all we will be using the e.prevent default function in order to just prevent the form from auto submitting. and then we will check for the value which is passed in the form. So if no value is passed, then we will be returning, but if any kind of value is passed, we need to add it to the to do array. So we will call this function add to do, which is passed here, you can see that, and we will pass the actual value which is returned here, you can see that. And after this we will be set the value to again null, so by using the set value function of the React hook, that is useState. So now we just need to create this add to do function in the app component. So just go right after this, we will create the function to add the to do to the to do's array. So we will define this function here. So this function will add the to do for us. So we will write here function add to do. So this takes the actual text which is passed. You can see that we are at the top, we are passing some text to this function, that is value. So we are just making a new variable here, text, passing this value parameter. And in this we will be first of all be fetching the array of the to do's by making a new variable new to do's and using the three dots followed by the array name, that is to do's. So this will take the actual array which is the to do's array, and the second argument will be the actual text that we need to add to the to do's array. So this needs to be written in double curly brackets, and after this we will set the to do's by using set to do's function, set to do function, by passing this new to do's array here. So let me just name this to set to do's, not set to do, and also change to s here. So now if I check here, add something, so you will see that it is adding in the array here. So the add functionality is working. So now we just need to add another function which will update the state of this to do variable and put a line on it. So this is the update function we need to write, update the state. So after this you need to write this function, that is, let me see what is the function here, complete to do. So function complete to do. So inside this function basically it takes the index variable. So whichever index you want to update, it takes the index variable. And in this, first of all, we will be importing the new to do's. Similar functionality, we will be doing this new to do's, and we will be using this three dots to do's, and then we will be using new to do's, and we will be using the index that is passed here, and then we will be manipulating the is completed dot completed, because we have given the second entry as in the array here. This is on completed, so we will be writing on completed. So on completed we will be making to true, so the default value is false, so true here. So after making this change, we just need to call the set to do's function here and pass this new to do's as if data here. That's it. So now after defining this, we need to pass this complete to do function to the to do's component. So here at the bottom we can just pass here. So just add a new property which is on complete in the to do's here. Complete to do, let me just give a property name complete to do. So in the curly brackets you can just pass this function, that is complete to do. So that's it. So after passing this function, we need to receive this function in the to do component. So just move on to the to do component, which is there at the top here. You can see that it is expecting one argument, so we have passed two arguments here. So the second argument we need to write here, complete to do, and now we just need to add a line here to the to do. In the return statement, we will be making a conditional statement. So in the div class name, that is to do, here we need to have a style attribute. So style, we need to write here in the double curly brackets, text decoration. So this is a property which is there in CSS, text decoration, and we need to first of all check for this property that is passed here, to do dot is completed. It is not is completed, this is on completed. So this is a property. If it is true, we are just using the ternary operator here, question mark. So if this property is true, then this condition will, we just need to add this line through attribute. But if it is false, colon, after colon we need to write here, if it is false, we need to just remove the class. So now we just need to call this function by having a button here at the bottom. So just after the div, we will be having another div. So inside this div, we will be having our button. So button, so this will be the label that is complete here. So let me just see here what is the problem. Oh sorry, we need to declare this div inside this div, parent div. So just copy this and after this paste it. So you can see that it is complete here. You can complete is there. So now we just need to bind a on click listener here, on click. So this will execute inside it. So this will be a one-liner function, arrow function. So in this we just need to call the complete to do function, passing the actual index property. Passing the actual index property, and also we need to pass the index also. Sorry, this needs to be in double. Let me just see what this needs to be in curly brackets. All these properties, curly brackets, this needs to be. So now if I hit complete here, you will see that it will be having a line through attribute which is attached dynamically. So we are checking for the property, that is if the on completed property is set to true, then we just need to attach this line through. So you can see that we are just making this true in this complete to do function. We are passing the actual index number. If I hit this, you can see that if I add more entries here, hit this, it is marked completed. So now the updating functionality is also working. So the last functionality is delete functionality. So for this we just need to add a button here for that also. So just add a button. We will be having this as, let me give a cross to it. You can see that if I hit this cross button, we need to delete this entry. So now after this we will be having a on click attribute, button on click. So when we click this, we need to execute this time the delete function. So I will make the remove to do function, remove to do. I will also pass the actual index number to it. So you can see that it is showing me error because we haven't made this function. And going back to the app component, just go back to the app component. So right after we have made this complete to do, we will be making the delete function. So we will write here function remove to do. So inside this it also expects the index number. We need to provide this index number, which is index. So after this we will be getting the array here by declaring new to dos and following the same convention, that is 3 dots to do. So this will take the original array, and now we just need to delete the index number. New to dos dot splice, this is a method we will use, and first of all we will pass the index number comma 1. So we need to write here 1. That's it. So this will delete the actual index number element from the array. Now we just need to call the set to dos function, which is a state function of the hooks, and pass this new array, which is new to dos. That's it. So now we just need to add this property also. After this complete to do, just add this remove to do. This is a function. So now after adding this, we need to receive this in the to do function. So now we will add another property, which is remove to do, just like that. So now if I add some entries here, click the cross button, you can see that it is now deleting the entries. So the logic of the application is complete, guys. So this is the overall application, but it is not looking great. We need to add some styles also to it. So let me go to the styles.css file. So it is opened here. You can see that styles.css. So the first, I will target the app class. I will give a background to it, which is 209 CEE. This is a color I will give. Padding I will change to, let me refresh this. If I even including this or not, let me just check here. I have given the app class or not. Let me see in the app function. So I have not given this class, so just give this class name as app. So now if I refresh it, it is not updating it. So just give me 2 minutes. Let me see why it is not doing that. We should have the class name is app, sorry, small a. So just need to replace here small a. So now you can see that it is making the blue color. So we also need to give some padding here, padding of 30 pixel, height of 100 vertical height, vh. That's it. So now I will target the to-do list class here. Let me see if I have attached this class or not, to-do list, in the HTML. Let me see. No, we have not attached this. So right after the app, we need to declare another div. We will be attaching this class to-do list. So inside this we will be populating our divs. So just close this. So you can see that, just write this under this to-do list div. So now we will style this to-do list. So the first property we will give here is the background. I will change the background to this color, that is E8. This is a color. And let me provide a border radius also property, which is 4 pixel. Padding to 5 pixel. Max width, let me give to 400 pixel. And now I will be having the to-do class. Let me see if I am attached this class or not. Let me see the HTML. We need to attach this class in the to-do component. So just move above here. In the to-do we have attached this class. You can see that to-do. So we will style this class here. So the first property I will give this is the background. I will make the background as white. Box shadow I will add 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel. Red, green, blue, alpha. This is a property 0, 0, 0, 0.15. I will also provide some padding, that is 3 pixel, 10 pixel. So after this I will change the font size to 12 pixel, margin bottom to 6 pixel, border radius to 3 pixel. Display property I will change to flex. Align items to center, and the last property will be justify content to space between. So now the CSS is complete, guys. So if I now refresh the application, you can see that the application is complete. So I can just add this. I can either complete it by adding a dash here. So I can just click the cross button to delete the items. So this is the application. So thanks very much for watching this video. I will be seeing you in the next video.